There's something going on with Jalen Hurts, following a lights-out minicamp performance and overall impressive offseason, and yet the media continues to doubt Philadelphia's QB1, which after this update will be to their own demise. Plus the latest news on Justin Simmons that might not matter in the end, and why the Birds won't return to the Super Bowl according to this former player. I'm Thomas Mott, this is The Thomas Mott Show. Anytime you reach the mountaintop in professional sports, the second time runs out in a game like, say, the Super Bowl, and you're the last one standing with that Lombardi trophy in hand, all media coverage just a few days later will quickly shift from, you did well in this game, to, what's your legacy, and of course, what's your chances of actually winning another? And this is especially true when it comes to the quarterback position, as the list of QBs to win a Super Bowl since 2000 and then never make or win another have some legendary names on it, including Breeze, Rodgers, and Stafford. So as the Eagles' offseason activities have officially come to an end, the Birds players prepare for the long and yet somehow very short 5-week break until training camp, I'm starting to notice something different with Jalen Hurts this offseason. I think the NFL is going to be in big trouble once they see the 2025 version of the Birds quarterback. Also, we're less than 900 subscribers away from the Kyle Schwarber signed Bat Giveaway, courtesy of our friends at Legends, and 46% of you guys watch my show every single day, but then aren't subscribed, so we can hit the needed 97,000 subs pretty quickly to go ahead and give this bad boy away if you hit that red button. Now, Jalen Hurts has had a very interesting last 3 seasons. For instance, you have the 2022 Super Bowl run where everyone was proclaiming him as the potential next best quarterback in the NFL, followed shortly by the 2023 campaign where all the detractors jumped back on the hate train, reminded us that Jalen Hurts was nothing more than a glorified running back who would never reach his 2023 potential again. Then, of course, 2024 happened, and despite the incredible playoff and Super Bowl run, there were still plenty of moments in the regular season that kept people doubting the Birds' QB. However, since the 2025 offseason officially convened with OTAs a couple of months ago, everyone in the actual building in Philadelphia can't help but notice a completely different animal wearing the number 1 jersey at Eagles offseason activities. Hurts entered these padless practices as sharp as can be, with both teammates and beat writers wowed by just how dialed in Jalen has been so far. And that's significant because it was really this time last year that Hurts was struggling in OTAs, leaving some to wonder if the ever-evolving door of offensive coordinators was finally taking its toll on the young QB. And while I think some of this is just Jalen Hurts progressing as a young quarterback in the National Football League, you can't be perfect every single season, the other part is that all of the negative noise around him definitely takes a toll. He's taken notice and is kind of channeling it in an extra way this coming season. I mean, for instance, post-2022, Jalen was clearly driven by the narrative that there hadn't been a quarterback in the past 2 decades to lose his first Super Bowl and ever make it back, let alone win it. That goal was visualized, established, and completed this past February. But now the ever-moving goalposts have shifted to, well, sure, Jalen won a Super Bowl, but come on, he's on a super team and clearly just a freeloader in the Birds' success. As, for instance, friend of the program Cole from How About Those Chiefs lit a little fire in this argument on Twitter just the other day by taking some very targeted shots at the freeloader Jalen Hurts. Not to be outdone, earlier literally this morning, how about WIP, local sports radio talk show in Philadelphia, putting out their list of the top 11 current Philly athletes, and yeah, Hurts was noticeably left out, which really showed me that it's not just Cowboy fans on Twitter or Chiefs fans upset about the Super Bowl, but literally his own fans in Philadelphia. Not all of us, I mean, come on, it's Philly Sports Radio, but media members in Philadelphia themselves still doubt Jalen Hurts despite what he did literally less than 6 months ago. This is the quarterback who dominated a Super Bowl, won MVP, and played lights out during the playoffs last season. And yet right now, Hurts remains overlooked. People still think he's ways off from Josh Allen or Joe Burrow or even Jaden Daniels. If you think the hyper-competitive Jalen Hurts isn't aware of this narrative heading into 2025, you have something else coming for you because he spoke about his personal goals to get even better during minicamp, and he sure sounds like he's more motivated than ever to be great.
You're encouraged by what you've been able to do, and that opens up the door of feeling like, okay, maybe there's more that I can do. And so when I look at it, just looking at, Coach Scott and saying, man, how can he help me take it to the next level? And I know that's his whole thing. When he came here, that was where his head was. He said, I just want to help you do more, get more, and advance my game. And so I think he's been great. I've always had that sponge-like mentality and taking in as much as I can. And, when it's time to go out there and play, go out there and play.
And this moves into the best part about Jalen Hurts, and the best part about this video going forward is each season, Hurts has worked to significantly prove his biggest area of weakness from the previous. For instance, in 2022, it was the passing game, which exploded onto the scene with the arrival of A.J. Brown. Then, following the 15-interception nightmare that was 2023, Hurts post-bye week this past season would total 36 touchdowns and just 4 giveaways, with 0 during the playoff run until his lone early mistake in Super Bowl 59. With the criticism now shifting back to the passing game and the fact that Jalen Hurts is on a super team and he's not the reason that they're winning, that means Jalen Hurts' motivation, as shown historically, is shifting back to being the main reason the Eagles are winning football games and, of course, the passing attack. And the passing attack is the one area that could use a little bit of improvement because, let's be real here, Jalen already has elite escapability, which defensive coordinators, as we know, absolutely fear, as future Hall of Famer Steve Spagnuolo told the New Heights guys just this past week.
Listen, third down to me, I love third down. We take a lot of pride in third down. And to me, when you can win third down, you got a pretty good chance of keeping the points low. When you win third down on offense, you're going to score points. And when you add to defending on third down that the quarterback can pick it up with his legs for 7 or 8, that makes it really hard. Because there's certain things you can't do and open up a lane for Josh Allen to take off and get 8. Or, Jalen did it in the Super Bowl. I thought we had really good coverage. You get the perfect coverage, but he finds a pass rush lane and boom.
But if Jalen pairs this escapability with an even better passing attack in 2025, I'm not sure if Philly's offense can be stopped at all. So I think Tom Brady was actually telling us way back in February.
When I think they're really unstoppable is when Jalen Hurts is playing in rhythm in the pass game. When they can string a consistent rhythmic passing game together, I think they're pretty unstoppable.
And clearly, Philadelphia's front office agrees with all of these takes, to promoting the Eagles' passing, emphasis their passing game coordinator, TOC and Kevin Patullo, to hiring quarterback guru and Scott Loeffler to be the new quarterback coach, and of course bringing back Jalen's safety net, at least throwing the football, in Dallas Goedert. The passing game is ripe for a boost in 2025. And I know Philadelphia still has Saquon Barkley following his record-setting 2024 campaign, but you can bet that 2-4 is going to be the opposing defense's first priority, which is exactly what happened in, say, Super Bowl 59 with the Chiefs defense, where they locked Barkley down the entire game, which allowed Jalen Hurts to throw the football more, play free, and absolutely eat. And this is all something I had to remind myself over the past weekend as I was arguing with people on Twitter about Jalen Hurts being great or Jalen Hurts not being great. One, it is June, meaning it's the offseason, meaning people need something to talk about, and for whatever reason, Jalen Hurts, whether he's good or bad, seems to be the main topic of conversation this time every single year. But then I immediately reminded myself and went through the whole list that I just did. Jalen Hurts is an extremely motivated person, and even though he pretends like he doesn't hear the outside noise, you know he 100% does, and if there's still noise post-Super Bowl MVP season, I think he's going to try to channel that and really go crazy in 2025. I mean, from the outside looking in this offseason, it just looked like Jalen is, working on his golf game? Posted this video right here. Crazy that he's actually left-handed when it comes to golfing, but either way. Or officially tying the knot in Napa Valley this past weekend. Congrats, by the way, despite the nasty media flying a drone to steal some pictures of a clearly intended private event, but again, behind closed doors, the NovaCare complex has seen a hyper-focused quarterback eager to prove his continued doubters wrong heading into 2025. And his teammates, they're seeing it right now, and as Alshon Jeffrey pointed out on a podcast last week, they've been seeing it from day one of Jalen's rookie year.
Obviously seeing Jalen come in and, see where he's playing now, something you saw in him from early on. Whenever you got there, you're like, this kid's going to be legit.
Honestly, I'm going to just say you had to be there to see it from day one. We all knew if you was there on that team, you knew it was going to be a problem. It just was a matter of time that he was really working. Every day he just kept getting better, and he was tearing our first team defense up when he was on the scout team as a quarterback. Every day he just kept getting better.
That's one thing you hear about him too, is he's a grinder through it all. He's got an unbelievable work ethic to be able to get him to where, he is today.
I want to hear y'all's expectations for Jalen Hurts heading into 2025. I think we're going to see something that is technically similar to 2024. There are going to be instances when Jalen has kind of a lesser passing game through the air and they run the football with Saquon Barkley because they have Saquon Barkley. But I've said all offseason long, since the promotion of Kevin Patullo, this offense is going to be a lot more pass-focused, meaning Jalen Hurts is hopefully going to prove a lot of doubters wrong. But again, that's just my opinion. Give me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Now, flipping back to, let's say, the news, or at least the ever-evolving door of free agent players being linked to Philadelphia, and CBS Sports over the weekend predicted Jaire Alexander will sign a one-year, $16 million deal to join the Philadelphia Eagles in the coming months, which obviously is just a prediction, doesn't guarantee anything, but $16 million for a corner who can't stay healthy the past 2 seasons seemed a little steep to me. It turns out ESPN's Jeremy Fowler agreed with me on 97.5 The Fanatic earlier last week, where he confirmed that Alexander will make less than the $17 million guaranteed by the Packers in a new deal, but the contract will be at least a little bit more than $10 million.
I mean, look, this is a guy who's been a top 3 cornerback at times in the last 3 to 4 years, so I doubt he's going to take some small amount. It would have to be reasonable money, but He was due 17. I think he knew he wasn't going to make 17 this year. So something below that, but definitely not under 10, I think would be my guess.
Friendly reminder, Philadelphia did not want to match the $10 million a year contract that Darius Slay got from the Pittsburgh Steelers earlier this offseason, but the counter argument there is that Darius Slay is going to be like 34 years old, Alexander's just 28, so maybe they go for a 1 year, let's say $13 million a year deal, a little more than Slay because of the age, but nothing crazy past $17 million a year. Now, staying with the free agent secondary front, and Fowler also mentioned the Eagles' continued connection with all-pro safety Justin Simmons, which of course we've heard a lot the past couple of months, but also did confirm Philadelphia and another new team are the, quote, finalists for the all-pro safety.
I do think he's looking for that Vic scheme. That's why the Eagles are on the short list there, because it's Philadelphia, it's Carolina has interest in Simmons, and Jaire Rivero came from the Big Fangio school. So that's where I think you should look with Simmons, and that's going to be important for Jaire too. I mean, especially these DBs, you're not going to go somewhere where you're unfamiliar, don't fit the scheme, and don't know the coaches most of the time.
At this point, is anyone else kind of out on Simmons? Like, unless we get to camp and there's an injury or Sidney Brown and Drew Makuba are actually just simply terrible, I don't see any room, at least in the secondary, to go ahead and sign Justin Simmons. Carolina, for instance, can likely offer Simmons a lot more money and maybe a multi-year deal. So unless his sole focus is literally playing under Fangio and no one else, I bet he eventually signs to the highest bidder, which is not going to be Philadelphia. Also apparently not happening anytime soon is the Eagles winning another Super Bowl ring, at least according to CJ Gardner-Johnson, who went on yet another Instagram Live over the weekend and continued his offseason beef with the Birds.
I'm going to tell y'all that now. You won't see another ring without Philly. That's crazy. They probably won't see one without me. What you talking about? You saw what happened when I left. I'm going to pop it now. I'm glad I'm in Texas.
I've said before, but I respect CJ Gardner-Johnson like crazy. He helped us win a Super Bowl last year, but goodness gracious, how many more times can he tell us that he is still mad that the Eagles traded him without actually telling us he's still mad that the Eagles traded him? Like, sure, he was there in 22 during a Super Bowl run and there in 24 during a Super Bowl win, and obviously was not there in 23 during that absolutely defensive disaster that was the, Sean Desai 2023 campaign. So there's an argument that he was the missing link, but I'd argue the Birds defense shined a lot more last year thanks to the defensive line absolutely dominating and Zach Bond turning into an all-pro and the young rookie DBs blossoming under Vic Fangio. Gardner-Johnson was a piece of the pie, but he wasn't the whole cake. I mean, right now, PFF has him as the 13th best safety entering the 2025 season, not even inside the top 10. Reed Blankenship, notably his safety counterpart, landed at 15 on that same list. Personally, I think Fangio's defense is built to be great, even if whoever replaces Gardner-Johnson is, say, the 24th best safety in the league. Like, I love and appreciate Gardner-Johnson. I think he's a fantastic safety. Good luck in Houston. But it's clear he's still recovering from the shock that was the trade out of Philadelphia and needs to learn to let it go. Now, we got plenty more stuff happening the next couple of days and weeks, including, not 100% guaranteed yet, but might have our first player interview of the offseason later this week. Sub for that. Let me know your guesses on who it is down below. Thomas Mott hanging out here on a Monday. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.